Let's speak about Volkswagen, baby. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today we're speaking about Volkswagen Group. So I know this is a little bit of a different one for me, but the reason we're covering this is because it relates to the EV industry as a whole. An article from March 16th, Volkswagen is coming after Tesla, what it means for both stocks. If you're not aware, okay, all electric car sales in Q1 to Q4 of 2020, Volkswagen Group was the third highest. And the CEO himself has said, multiple times at this stage, we are well on track to achieve our aim of becoming the market leader in battery electric vehicles. And then again, very recently, we just got this news from them from their Power Day. Volkswagen presents technology roadmap for batteries and charging up to 2030. Now there's a few other bits and pieces I want to go in between, but ultimately we're going to take a look at everything that Volkswagen has to say. Do we think they're a good investment? Do we really think, they could beat Tesla? We'll relate their returns over the last year, 2 years, 5 years, even compared to some of the other bigger EV names that are out there. And we'll have a look at how they performed year over year, 2020 over 2019. So my friends, right before we do get into the video, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? Drop me a comment down below. I genuinely am interested if we've any Volkswagen investors in here. And please, my friend, if you are indeed new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button and join the family of investors, baby. Also, if you're interested in joining my private Discord group, that is the first link in the description. In there, you get access to all of my buy and sell alerts, over 50 private channels. We do pretty much a message every day before market opens, letting you guys know what's happening in the markets. Join the community of nearly 2,500 investors and chat about stocks. And if you'd like 2 free stocks on Webull, all you gotta do is sign up, deposit $100. It really is that simple. So you'll see that Volkswagen, as I'm recording this video, is up 8% on the day. The 5-day chart is fantastic as well, up nearly 10%. And if I bring you to that monthly chart, I mean, look at that, up 29%. Given the month that we've had, Volkswagen has performed absolutely fantastically. Now what I've gone ahead and done is I've gotten up a few different charts here, okay? So we have Volkswagen in the grey, we have BYD in the purple, we have Tesla in the blue, and we actually have NIO in the orange. This right here is the yearly charts and how much they've all performed on the year, how much they've returned on the year. And you can see that despite this very, very good run, Volkswagen still has, done very poorly compared to these other EV plays, but they have done very well on the year in general. Let's be honest, 126%. Now, if we go to the 3-year chart, you will see Tesla absolutely dominating. You will see Volkswagen, BYD lagging behind, NIO still at a very good while. Go to the 5-year chart, we start to see some similar trends. If we take it down to the 6-month chart, you'll see that they have, again, underperformed against these 3 in particular, despite being very close to Tesla. But if you actually look on that monthly chart, they are beating everybody. They are beating Tesla and NIO in particular by an awful lot. So when you look at this, you see a company like this doing well while the growth stocks and the tech stocks are getting beaten up. It's worth taking it somewhat seriously. And obviously Volkswagen is a massive name. It's a legacy automaker. And again, when you go and look into some of the numbers and you see that Volkswagen did deliver the 3rd biggest amount of battery electric only vehicles in 2020, right behind Tesla and SAIC. So we can see that Tesla still, has the biggest market share by absolutely far, but it's a competitor. And what's potentially even more interesting, okay, is that those numbers tripled from 2020 to 2019 for Volkswagen. We did speak about this, I don't even know how long ago on the channel, probably 6 to 9 months ago. But we always knew that all of these legacy automakers were looking towards EV. We always knew it was going to happen. It's essentially been inevitable. We're speaking Volkswagen, the likes of GM, a lot of those other guys. They're all already in the game, but we do expect some of them to be really big players. Let's be honest, they've been around a lot longer. The main advantages the likes of Tesla have is, technologically they are already very far ahead and they have a whole lot more data coming in every single day. But these guys have established brand names, they have established factories, they have way more capital than a lot of other EV companies. That's the main advantages they have. And I definitely do believe that some of these legacy automakers will transition into very, very successful EV companies over the next 5, 10, 15 years. But Volkswagen brand triples delivery of all electric vehicles in 2020, and there's no denying that that is absolutely huge, and it put them into that top 3 spot, a podium spot for them. Of that, we can see that about 134,000 were BEVs and about 78,000 were PHEVs. So it's very, very clear that their EV sector as a whole grew very quickly. Now what I wanted to do when I started finding this out is I wanted to look at their 2020 numbers as a whole. You will see that deliveries to customers in general took a huge hit, and that's largely due to the Roni. Because of that, we saw the same thing with their sales revenue. I mean, a huge hit, and they were expecting an increase of up to 4%. It was pretty much a very poor year for the company. company. But despite that fact, okay, they did indeed grow their EV sales tremendously. So it's not something to be taken lightly. Now here's some of the things that came out of their Power Day, which again literally came out on the 15th. Unified cell and synergies reduce battery costs by up to 50%. Now again, I'm a huge believer in the fact that EV is the future. I don't think that any one company is going to dominate. You know, I think Tesla is going to do absolutely incredibly well, but I think there's going to be a lot of very large players. And I also think that they're all going to have things happen along these lines over the next few years in order to stay competitive. 6 gigafactories with a total production capacity of 240 GWh secure battery supply in partnership model. That level of manufacturing capacity can power very roughly 4 to 5 million electric vehicles annually. And the company announced plans to build 6 gigafactories by 2030. So within 10 years, they're looking at 4 to 5 million electric vehicles produced annually. Now, considering how fast the EV market is going to grow and considering how big of a brand Volkswagen already is, this could very well be a possibility down the line. And they also say they eye solid state battery cells by the middle of the decade. If you're not aware, Volkswagen works very closely with QuantumScape. Now, I wouldn't hold my breath on this one. I think this is still a little bit of a free-for-all in all honesty, but it is a point worth, you know, taking into account when looking at these. Now, they do say the prismatic unified cell will launch in 2023 and could slash battery costs in half. A lot of things could happen between now and 2023 with Tesla or with NIO or with any other, you know, relatively large EV maker that could slash battery costs in half. So this is a very good thing, but again, I think nearly anybody could do this. We can see their factory in Sweden is to be expanded, okay? They have their second gigafactory with a production capacity again of 40 GWh expected. Integration of value chain, common stuff. They want 18,000 fast charging points, which is a fantastic amount to be looking at. They have a European network to be expanded fivefold with partners, and you can see a lot of those partners later on. Energy ecosystem, staggered investment with partners and being sought to maintain strategic financial targets. We aim to reduce the cost and complexity of the battery and at the same time increase its range and performance, okay? That sounds a lot like every other EV maker. I mean, it's exactly what Tesla wants to do, it's what NIO wants to do, it's what pretty much everybody wants to do. Now here's something interesting. Wall Street projects Tesla will deliver about 840,000 EVs in 2021. A lot of you guys will probably be aware they fell just shy of 500,000 in 2020, but they did have their best quarter ever by far in the last quarter of 2020. I think that's a large number, but they definitely have the potential to do it. What is interesting though is that Volkswagen's goal is to sell 1 million electrified vehicles this year, and they double its goal for European EV sales by 2030. Now again, these are all just numbers, these are all expectations, but still, I mean, you have to take these numbers seriously. I know a lot of the time we like to call an EV company the next Tesla. Let's be honest, there's never going to be a next Tesla. Tesla is who they are, they've done what they've done, and they're going to do what they're going to do. They're always going to be Tesla. But there can be competitors, and there can be competitors that have to be taken seriously, and more likely than not, over the next 5 years or so at least, it's not going to be the EV startups who are the competitors. It's going to be the legacy automakers, whether we like it or not. Hopefully they change their ways. But I want you guys to look at this. In 2030, we foresee a 50% battery electric vehicle share in our global deliveries. In Europe, we expect 60%. I mean, guys, they are huge claims, very bold claims, but maybe they will be able to come to fruition. We're going to have to wait and see. Now, here's one take I had when I was reading through all of this that an analyst clearly agrees with, and I think it's something that everybody should understand. VW Power Day confirms EVs are set to become the standard, wrote Baird analyst Ben Callow in a Monday research report. So essentially what he's saying is that, you know, this event is a signal that EV penetration of the overall auto market will go faster than investors currently expect. It's not a question of, you know, is EV the future? I believe we all know it is, but when you see, again, the legacy automakers, when you see Volkswagen, etc., saying these things, putting such an emphasis on building the EV side of their business, you have to expect that, you know, the world is going to adapt sooner rather than later, perhaps even faster than we initially thought. The analyst here says he expects Tesla to remain the leader, and I have to be honest, I do agree. For how long? I think it's very tough to say, but I don't really see Volkswagen beating Tesla this year. Maybe I will eat those words, and we're going to have to come back in a year and see. At the end of the day, their gross profit on sales fell to about 4.1 billion euros. That's a lot more money than a lot of these other EV players are looking at, which means that they can expand quicker. They have the capital in order to do so. But my friends, honestly, I think it's very interesting, and I think things like this happening more often are only going to be good for the broader EV market. I think this is going to be good for the smaller players. It's going to keep everything extraordinarily competitive for a long time going forwards, and ultimately I do think it's going to positively affect the likes of Tesla and the likes of Neo. I don't see how any of these companies could, even attempt to be somewhat complacent when you have the likes of Volkswagen on your tails. But anyway, my friend, if you watched this video all the way till the end, you are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me. If you did enjoy, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, drop me a comment down below, and please, my friend, subscribe if you're new around here. Again, if you are interested in joining that private Discord group, it is the first link in the description. Lots of juicy information there, all of my buy and sell alerts. It's an awesome community, and if you want those free stocks on Webull, that's a second link. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you for another video very soon. Peace.